Hello there, welcome back to another episode of Anything with Alvin, where this time we're going to be making the famous cake shake from Chicago's Portillo's. Now in this legendary creation that is now a household icon in this restaurant, an entire slice of fudgy chocolate cake gets blended in with a milkshake. Now this is one of those chocolate cakes that isn't supposed to be a super decadent gourmet chocolate cake. I think it's more on the traditional grocery store, super fudgy and satisfying chocolate cake. But we're still going to use chocolate. First chopping up about 7 ounces of 70% dark chocolate. Some will go in the cake itself and some will be used later for our frosting.
I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this episode and supporting the BCU from the very beginning. I'm excited to announce my new website, babi.sh, or as I like to call it, babby.sh. The ultimate destination for all things BCU. There's all the recipes from my videos, exclusive new recipes. You can search by genre or ingredient. You can even toggle between US and metric and scale the serving size. We heard your feedback about everything you wanted from the site, so that's what we did. You can get 10% off your first Squarespace order by visiting squarespace.com/babish.
Let's get started on the cake batter. In a stand mixer, we're going to go ahead and combine 3 eggs, 1 2/3 cup of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract in a stand mixer and whip that until it becomes pale and fluffy. While that's going, I'm going to combine our dry ingredients. 2 1/2 cups of cake flour, 1 cup of Dutch processed cocoa, 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt into a bowl just to whisk that together. This is based off of a Hellmann's cake recipe, which is supposed to be that fudginess we're looking for. Now the interesting part about this cake is that it's actually a mayonnaise cake, which sounds super weird and not that delicious, but it makes a lot of sense. I've seen this technique used in many styles before, where you add 1 cup of mayonnaise as your fat into the actual cake batter itself. Now, initially it might be off-putting, but if you think about it, it's just eggs, oil, and a few other things that make sense when it all gets masked by the chocolate. I've done this before and it works fantastic. You can't even tell. Once the mayonnaise goes in, we're gonna go ahead and add in our dry ingredients. Allow that to mix slowly and then stream in 1 1/3 cup of coffee. I think coffee and chocolate go together great, so this makes a lot of sense. Then go ahead and give this a whirl until our batter is nice, silky smooth, and can now be divided among 2 cake pans lined with a little bit of parchment at the bottom. These are just 9-inch cake pans because the cake itself isn't supposed to be a super intricate layered cake. It's more of like a double stacked cake that is just made with a lot of good frosting. This is going to go bake at 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes until the cakes are ready. While the cake is baking in the oven, let's go ahead and make our fudge frosting. In a stand mixer, once again, we're going to go ahead and add 6 cups of powdered sugar with 1 1/3 cups of unsweetened cocoa powder and 1 tablespoon of salt, making sure to whisk that together before we add our butter in. Here we go again. I have now made another mess. We're going to add 2 3/4 stick of salted butter that has been softened, along with 2/3 cup of really hot coffee. This is going to help get us that nice sticky, fudgy consistency that we're looking for. Once that's all mixed together, we're going to go ahead and add 4 ounces of our dark chocolate from before that now has been melted just in a microwave until it's nice and smooth. Now that our frosting is ready, our cakes are now ready to come out of the oven. We're going to cool these on a wire rack by flipping them upside down so that presses on that dome part a little bit, flattens it just a tad. And while those chill down, we're going to make a fudge sauce that is seen used in the actual milkshake itself. They're adding that sauce to the ice cream and to the cake. I'm guessing it adds a deeper, sweeter, chocolatey flavor, so why not? This is more of an off-the-cuff recipe where we're using 2-to-1 ratio of sugar to cocoa powder, approximately 1 cup and 1/2 cup, and then an equal amount of water. Just give that a stir until it gets roughly dissolved. And well, instead of using this and reducing this in a pan like you probably should, I decided to do it in the microwave because I thought that'd be a lazier method that would yield a similar result. While you don't really see how much we spilled, there clearly has been a decrease in volume from when we have initially done it. So I would recommend just do this in the pan, reduce it until it's sticky and thick, and then you're good to go. Alright, now that all of our components are ready, it's time to assemble our cake. We're going to take a cake stand, slap down a little bit of frosting to act as glue, and throw down one of our cake rounds from before. This is going to get a nice, good helping of our chocolate fudge frosting and spread around and turn until it's nice and flat, ready for our second layer. This is pretty simple. Just get the frosting all over the sides of the cake. Try to make it as even as possible, and well, let's make it at least somewhat presentable. This is the cake. We're going to go ahead and coat a very generous slice, nice and fluffy, nice and thick, super delicious. Put that on a plate, and how about we serve this with some ice cream and some of our hot fudge syrup, because that's essentially what goes inside the milkshake, but a little more deconstructed. Now this is very good. The chocolate goes so well with the vanilla, which goes well with the sauce. It's one of those things where if you got this at a birthday party, you would inhale the plate in about 5 seconds, you wouldn't ask any questions, probably go back for more, which is a very good sign. So now we must make the milkshake. Here we have a lot of leftover vanilla ice cream. Andrew did a video recently where he ranked all the flavors of vanilla ice cream, which I thought was a really cool one. And I thought it'd be a perfect time to use up the leftovers because this is some perfectly good ice cream that, well, would make sense to use in a milkshake where the whole point is to probably blend up leftovers anyways. We're just gonna go ahead and eyeball this. I'm guessing like maybe 70% ice cream, maybe 75. Throw that into a blender, slightly soften, add in a rather generous cake slice that we've taken from our cake, and a nice good dollop of our hot fudge sauce from earlier. Let's blend this up. Nice good texture, nice and thick, and pour this into a milkshake fitting glass. Now my favorite part that they probably don't do at the restaurant, but I thought would be fitting, would be to serve this with another slice of cake on top, because this is probably about indulgence anyways, and well, I think it'd be nice to have some texture with your milkshake. Okay, this is definitely on the very sweet side. It's very delicious, very creamy, very milky, very chocolatey, and very strong. Definitely a little too much on the sugar. Maybe I should have added a little bit less cake or a little bit less syrup, or maybe because they use soft serve rather than ice cream in the restaurant, but we can fix this. Just add a little bit of skim milk, gives us a little bit of a whirl off camera, and let's serve about these smaller serving glasses to everybody in the studio. It's actually kind of cool. Looks like a little ice cube that you might find floating in your cocktail, but instead it's chocolate cake, which I think is even better. Making sure that we have enough for everybody. They've been working hard today in the studio, and I think this would be a nice time for a nice afternoon treat. And the best part is there was so much good chocolate cake left over that we all got to take home a nice good slice. A perfect end to a rather fun day.
Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's episode. From websites to online stores to domains to analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for you to build your online presence. All of my websites over the years have been with Squarespace, and I'm excited to share the new one, babi.sh. We were able to use Squarespace's website builder and custom integrations to create a site that provides a powerful cooking experience. If you want to try Squarespace for yourself, you can start your free trial today by visiting squarespace.com/Babish to get 10% off your first purchase.